All right, go whenever.
All right, here we go. Poppin' Top with Tyler Monn, episode 2.
Yeah.
Tyler, what are you drinking tonight?
Oh, well, I messed up here. Last week I had Miller Lite and I thought I still had more beers in the fridge, so I don't. So today we're drinking a Dr. Pepper, zero sugar. So we're keeping a
Okay.
non-alcoholic day.
Hmm.
It's good. I kind of like the zero sugar better than a regular Dr. Pepper. And people say that all the time. Like Diet Dr. Pepper tastes way better than the normal one. But I enjoy it. So
Those are hot takes.
Okay.
these are hot
Yeah.
takes on the Dr. Pepper in case
I'll ask you
anybody
why in a second.
if anybody's wondering.
All right, Owen, what are you drinking, man?
I have this Ingrid something Oktoberfest lager. So
Very
Bavarian
nice.
style Mazerin. I don't know. I just saw it looked cool again. There's
He's
another.
What's
going
that time
after
of the
some
year?
Viking beer.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
What are
Well,
you
I
drinking?
am going with my favorite beast, Peach. I love these things. I actually forgot
Natty.
to stop and grab something different today, but I have tons of these. And I have cat like energy drinks, so I was not gonna drink an energy drink at 8 o'clock at night. Sorry, not happening.
Yeah.
No more. You left the Natty Daddy at the.
No, God, dude, I threw that in the yard after we got off.
And yeah, then the yard just melted.
Yeah,
It was
it's a
like,
trailer park beer. It deserves to be in the grass.
yeah,
If anybody learned anything from the last episode, it's don't get Natty Daddy.
yeah. Nadia needs
Oh
to work
my
on that
God,
recipe.
I couldn't tell you what tasted so bad. I don't know if I've had a natural light beer before. I don't know if it's just like the Natty Daddy itself doesn't taste good, but it was not my thing. That's for sure.
Oh, that is
So,
interesting.
but
All right. Well, let's jump on into it.
let's go.
What are we drinking?
All right, Tyler. So. You guys made the playoffs. Big shock.
Yeah. Nail
Kyle
biter.
Larson somehow made the playoffs. Yeah, Jeremy Clements and company did not. We got wrecked.
Yeah,
So,
I did see that. And that was something different. I'm talking about Daytona. I'm like, I didn't have an Xfinity car, so I didn't spot, but I got to watch it all. And it's a there's so much you could take from just watching. I might have said this last week, but like on the spotter stand, not worrying about no car, you could sit there and watch the whole thing. And I'm like, man, if I could, you just watch runs better because you're not paying attention to your car. And
Yeah.
I'm like, man, if I could do this like normal and still pay attention to my car, like I'd be 10 times better than what I am. Like it's kind of
yeah.
cool. It was cool to go up there and sit there and watch it. And yeah, you guys
I
obviously
Is it comparable to being like playing QB versus being in the stands and you're like, "Hey, this guy's about to break open, like hit him," and then they throw it somewhere else and it's like,
exactly. And that's yeah, and I made the comment actually before like maybe Saturday afternoon before the cup race. I'm like, man, if we had like two spotters at Daytona and you just had one guy like watching like runs building and he was just
mm,
telling you in your ear, I'd be like, it'd be
Wow.
awesome because there's a lot going on. I mean, you're looking through the binoculars probably 90% of the time there. So
I think
you
I
just
would
kind of
throw
keep an
up.
eye on your car and and you really pull them away. You pay attention to what's building around you, but it's in the time you just get stuck in the moment.
Well, I had a
right.
question
But
watching the race because I know that, that time in Florida is just humid. And I had to do some
Oh, it was
work
so bad.
outside. And I used to work outside a lot. I'm just not used to it anymore. And I was working in 100-degree heat for 5 hours. And, but I was sitting there thinking, and I was also coincidentally listening to last week's episode to kind of refresh myself. But like, I was like, what is it like to sit up there on the spotter stand in these different weather elements? Like, that heat probably gets to you when you're just,
yeah, I mean, there's been places this year that have been super hot. And yeah, I mean, if you don't stay hydrated, I think that's the biggest thing just leading into the weekend is try to stay hydrated, drink tons of water. But yes, the heat will get to you a lot. But we wear some because you're right direct to it, and we wear like sleeves and like you know what I mean? And then some
yeah.
people have like pullovers, like the sun
Mm.
pullover things, which are really nice, the light
Kind of like
ones.
the fishing gear type of
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, just like that. So we try to a ton of sunscreen and yeah, because
Yeah.
we're direct sun. But other than that, then obviously during like Martinsville in the fall and even in the spring and like tracks that we start at that are like get super cold, we get these big jacks on, like gloves. I actually the best investment I had was the heat warmers, but they're electric, like they charge and dude, they were
Yeah,
Bowman Gray this year. I think Martinsville, like
I
they
want one
were
of those.
perfect.
Yeah,
Yes, they were a lifesaver because that's the tough part. Like once my hands get cold, I'm
yeah.
done. So,
I'm not a good
um,
person in the cold. I
yeah,
That's why
yeah.
he's in
I'd
California.
rather it be like 100 degrees out hot than spotting in the cold.
Yeah,
So
I could get
I
that.
don't I get used to it
Yeah,
for
I could
sure.
see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely can attest to a fall day pitting with a fire suit on is way better than
Yeah,
it's there's a
Sometimes
double-edged
it's so
sword to
cold
it.
you want to set yourself on fire.
Yes,
That
but
would be
also
fun.
no. I'll be honest, it's most of the time when we're like going into the summer months, it doesn't really matter where we go, it's hot. Like I mean, we could go Iowa, hot,
yeah,
Indianapolis, hot, super hot in Indianapolis. It doesn't matter. So like I mean from usually end of May, early June, you're starting to hit like every weekend's going to be really warm. But there's a few times throughout the year we'll get like Martinsville or I'm trying to think of some other stuff. Maybe Atlanta in February.
yep,
It's a little bit colder, and so
yep,
honestly, you're kind of like, I want to put my fire suit on and be kind of warm. This past year in Vegas for Xfinity or truck, it was really cold. I mean, it had a little bit of a wind chill.
yep.
It was chilly, so it's hit and miss. But it's the only thing that sucks is we can't really layer up. We can't put hoodies on. We gotta have our fire suit on. Like that's it. That's
Right.
it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
That's it. Yeah. And you guys
it's
have to wear Nomex or whatever it is
we
underneath.
do
Yeah.
wear the
Oh,
Nomex, so that's the one thing some people ask. They're like, "Oh, how hot is the fire suit?" And you got to wear the Nomex, the under layer, the
yeah.
protection, the fire retardant stuff. And I told him, I'm like, the best way I could explain wearing a fire suit, especially in the heat, is we're not getting baked in the sun where you're getting tired. You know what I'm talking about when you get too much sun and you're just like, I'm sleepy. My body just wants to go lay down and get in the shade. We're getting some sun on our face. You can take precautions, wear hats and stuff, but we're
Yeah.
not getting sun baked as in our arms and chests, you know.
Right.
But then that Nomex, once you sweat in it some and it gets damp, it actually has like a cooling element. So
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
it sucks, but it's not the end of the world, you know, like this is
It kind
miserable.
of helps out a little bit.
There's a few tracks it's miserable. Don't get me wrong. I'm like Daytona, not the most fun, and then Indy a few weeks ago was probably the
I would
hottest we've
say
had
Indy
this
was
year.
probably the hottest. Yeah. I was
Indy
going to
was
say that
hot,
earlier.
man.
Indy was
So,
definitely the hottest that we've had
Hmm.
all year.
but
It was
Yeah.
hot.
I've also seen weekends where like we kind of came underprepared and it's a lot colder than we expected. And people have to go buy jackets and stuff. It's man, you just never know.
Well, before we actually get into the racing stuff, my wife had a question for you, and she was wondering, what do you do during the week, like at Hendrick? Like, what's your week before the race be like?
So usually Monday to start. So after race on Sunday, Monday we come in and do comp meeting with our team and talk about that, and then usually that's it for Mondays. That's usually around 10:30. We kind of about an hour, and then Tuesdays I try to go into the shop. I have a morning meeting at 8 o'clock with just the five team, and then I move on to the day, and then I start studying the week coming up. Like this past week, I put a lot of study in film and watching super speedway racing and trying to be better at that. Make sure I'm on my game for that. So that usually takes my Tuesday up, and then just Wednesday I kind of Wednesday, I usually take that day off, and then Thursday we'll do our pre-race stuff, and then
Hmm.
usually travel on Friday. So, I mean, I stay at the shop as much as I can. I do a lot of my work from home too, but any chance that I can go to the shop, I try as much as I can. So I stay pretty busy for the most part. A lot of meetings that go on, just make sure everybody's ready to go and dialed
Yeah.
up, and we have everything to go. So that's kind of usually what my week stays like. But the latest I've ever been there is maybe like 3 or 4 o'clock. So I'm not trying to shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, my
You're like, man,
Tuesdays
I put in a
there.
full 10-hour
Yeah,
day.
I put up. Yeah, yeah. I come
Slap the
home and
mechanic on the back. See you later.
yeah, yeah. Nah, I do. There is times where I'm like, man, I'm leaving. These guys are getting ready to be there for another 3 or 4 more hours, and
Yeah.
I do feel bad because them guys work their asses off. So,
Yeah, they do.
but yeah, just kind of that kind of stay in that flow, try to keep doing it every time. And
Yeah.
some things change. Obviously, if I'm out of town or traveling, I can still always do my work, right? I can still always study, look at SMT. There's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. I would say now, like compared to what it was when I first started, right? They didn't have a lot of that stuff. I mean, you'd watch film here and there for super speedway stuff, but this going into Darlington this week, I did a lot of studying today, just the different lines. Guys usually 1 and 2, you're ripping the fence there, but 3 and 4, you move around. Like guys can make speed on the bottom,
Yeah.
so you kind of look for stuff like
Does
that.
it
And
ever
just
translate? I feel like I hear every time it's just like you can't really bring what you did last time all the time or something like that.
yeah, I mean
Just everything's so different or something.
it does. It stays like there's times where you're like you can bring the same exact setup that you brought in the spring,
Yeah.
and just with track temp being different or something, tire might be a little different. You're not even close, and we're in the same ballpark. Like if you were good, you're not good now. So yeah,
Yeah.
them guys, you always have to keep up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
And
good
I feel
point.
like we always are better, like statistics wise. I feel like we're fast, but we always have bad luck in the springtime in Darlington than what we do in the fall race for the Southern 500. So like we have a bad race and then good, bad, good, bad, good. So hopefully
Well, at
this
least
weekend
you're
it turns good.
you're good on the crown jewel one.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
So,
exactly. That's a good part.
yeah. But yeah, Blake,
Heck yeah.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think. I mean, for me during my week, it's mostly just we go to practice. We'll talk about some stuff we're gonna see. We might talk about a little bit of a game plan. Some tracks we're gonna have more brake heat, or we're running backward stops. We'll definitely be practicing a lot and focusing on that. We did a few things this tonight at practice when we were talking about what possibilities, scenarios, and adjustments we might make. Because I mean, every track's different, and Darlington just chews up tires. So about any given moment, you can go pit. You're gonna go pit. I mean, unless it's just is unless you're gonna run out of tires, honestly. Which truck and Xfinity kind of are more inclined to running out of tires. Cup, you don't have an unlimited supply, but you definitely have twice as many as you do in
Right.
Xfinity.
Yeah, you have a
So
lot. Like I want to say, like Richmond the other week, we only had like 8 sets, and we
Yeah.
went through them. Like that's
dude, we
probably the
had
only
three,
cup
three or
race that
four.
you really go through. Right. That would probably be Richmond super aggressive on tire wear, so you go
Right.
through them pretty quick.
Time to
Um,
repave.
Yeah.
well, yeah,
No,
I know.
don't do
That's what
that. Don't do
that.
that.
Please, yeah, they don't need to do that at all.
Yeah, it's
How many times do you practice the week, Blake, for
usually
fitting?
once we get in season, we usually only do one. We kind of let
One,
our
yeah,
bodies rest.
yeah,
Preseason, we're usually doing two. We're usually doing Tuesday and Thursday. So basically, that first week of January, we'll have like that first Tuesday, and then that Thursday, or depending on it, sometimes it's Tuesday, Wednesday. So it's all just it's based on like I mean we did more practice this off season because
yep.
we had a new jack man on both the trucks. They were basically rookies, like they really hadn't been to the racetrack. So getting them up to speed and then also us getting chemistry together, it was really important. Who knows next year if we all get re-signed with Front Row and we're doing Lane's truck again in the 38 for Chandler, they might say like, hey, we don't really have to go balls to the wall in practice, just we'll just start doing our once a week reps and kind of get in the flow of things. But I mean, once the season starts going, and especially if we have off weekends, we sometimes will take an off weekend just because the season in and of itself is such a grind. Like I mean, every weekend for myself, you guys had one off weekend, right, Tal? You might have. I think that's the
Yeah,
only one y'all
we
had,
had
which
one
was
Easter weekend this year. Yeah,
see for me, we didn't. We had to go to Rockingham.
yeah, I went to Rockingham too, like an idiot.
I
I
think
should
that
have
was
took
Easter
off.
weekend. That was the only
It
weekend y'all had
was.
off. Yeah.
Yeah,
So I mean, for us, coach is like, hey, this is gonna be a grind. There's gonna be some weeks that aren't as important. Like you could use super speedway weekends as an example. It's just pit crews are important, but it's really about fuel mileage, and you're only gonna
yep,
run 3 or 4 stops roughly. It's nothing
yeah.
crazy. So
Yeah,
it's
it's kind of
just
crazy how the whole, especially on the Cup side now, the fuel mileage actually it kind
yeah,
of worked out this past weekend where we did say we were running for a little bit there, same fuel, but then the caution kind of fell, so we didn't have to. We could actually go.
just
The first
run.
stage you didn't have to run hard. Yeah, we actually executed the first stage really well. The start of it, we went from third to last,
Yeah.
in like no time. I'm like, oh no, we're no good.
Yeah.
And then yeah, I got to work our way back up, plug through the middle. And then yeah, I got stage win in the first stage. So I thought that was good for us. And then second one kind of made a late move, probably a bad move in the second stage, but probably had a shot to win the second stage too. And just kind of fell back. And then, dude, the end of the Daytona race, it is hectic, man, because you have so much going on.
Yeah.
You got guys lined up, and um, in the back of your head, you're kind of worried about the 48 because we're trying, we want him to make the playoffs. And now you're trying to win the race, but now we're in a points battle too to beat the nine, because if we beat the nine, we're ahead of him in points. It gets us playoff points. You know how it pays playoff points at the regular season. So, I mean, there was so much going on, and it kind of worked out. It worked out for Blaney to win, and the 48 made the playoffs, and then we we ended up third, so that gave us 8 playoff points, and we're going into Darlington number 1 seed for playoffs. So
Well, y'all are tied with
um,
like Byron, right?
we are tied. Yeah,
Yeah.
we
Those 4 fastest laps really helped. I think I saw
yeah,
the
no kidding. I mean, for real, you go back and look at stuff like that, you're like, this is what it pays off to be, right?
Yeah.
Like us
Yeah.
winning the stage on, if we don't win that stage, we're second in points, or a point below him, but
yeah.
picking up the playoff point and finishing, yeah, it would have been great to finish second regular season, but still. That's the biggest thing. We're going into Darlington with the number 1 seed, and hopefully some good tracks we're going to be really good at. And
Yeah.
dogs are barking.
Oh, I didn't even hear him.
Yeah.
That's good. So yeah, I mean, it was really good.
Yeah. What
Then Daytona ended up being good though.
yeah, as kind of how last week's episode went, I was sitting there, I was like, just wreck already. Just go ahead and blame me. I was sitting there just like, he's gonna wreck. Because there was that wreck with Bubba, and I was like, oh no, here it is.
Yeah, no, we missed some good ones. I thought about that actually after the race. I'm like, well, that one didn't jinx us. We actually
Yeah.
ran really
I
well, and
felt better.
Finish what,
we kept it
sixth
going
or something?
I
Yeah,
I
we ended
sat
up
there
finishing
for a
sixth.
good
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
couple minutes. I was like, was I the good luck charm here?
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, that was overall like we talked about it yesterday on 10 Away. Just it was a good weekend overall, but particularly I thought it was one of the better uh super speedway races that we've seen in a while. And it was, I mean, from a fan's perspective, it was really fun. And there were several moments where it's like, it just looks like we're all gonna wreck here. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it did. We were in some right in the middle of some lawns, and then, yeah, the move at the end for us, I
On
think,
the 60, right?
yes,
That was
the
actually one
move
of my
went,
questions. Yeah.
so the move on the 60 was, we timed it up perfect, and I made it come, we had the 9, we had the 20, and 24. So that was the move, and he made it very good. And we let the 60, shuck the middle. But the move probably at the end to probably set us up, I think, to win the race would have been block the third lane when Custer was getting the big push with from Blaney.
Yeah.
And you see that, you call it out, but our biggest thing is to keep our teammate in our mirror and try to help, let him help us push. And I still think we still had a shot until the back straightaway when the 7 kind of blocked both lanes and then got shucked to the middle, and then it kind of slowed our lane up a little bit. But
Yeah, I feel like the 7 really held y'all up. I was always curious after. I was like, man, what would have been like with the momentum if, because y'all the 7 hit y'all hard. He was dropping like a rock, and I didn't see the hit till like after replay. I was like, oh gosh, I thought it almost seemed like it would have been a wreck mid race.
yeah, no, right, absolutely, yeah, it was hard hit, but
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you line up and you're like, you're surrounded by all new winners, and you're like, oh, well, that could be new winners. You're like, oh my, I'm like, we're right in the middle of this, So,
Yeah.
I
but
wonder
it
how
worked out.
Alex felt like just watching the.
Oh, dude, you talk about nerve wracking. I'm sure, in the back of my head, that's what I'm thinking. In the back of my head, I'm like, we got to beat the 9 because of the points. And so I can only imagine how he felt. Like at the end of it, I'm not even kidding. We cross check flag. I'm like, oh, good job, 6. And then like take my stuff off, and I'm like, whew. I'm like, all right, we're good. Like it's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I told the guys, I joked with some of our mechanics, and told them, they said, hey, don't get we always joke about heart rate getting up. And they were like, don't get your heart rate up over 100 tonight. It's okay. I got it, and I got it to 137, and it
Nice.
was the last 3 laps. That's when it went. I did so good the whole night. And then I was like, panic mode, So
Well, the move on the 60, I was wondering, is that something that you would maybe have done later or when you timed it out? Like, was this
probably
just,
timed it out pretty good. I mean,
yeah.
you probably do want to do that later, maybe,
Hmm.
looking back at it, I guess, because you keep pushed up and then maybe you do that coming to the checker flag. I mean, I think the 7 would have won though, because we never got past the 7 because we stalled that lane
Yeah.
um, once we did that. But no, I don't. I thought it was good timing for
Is the
us.
lane
Off of
stalling,
4 is hard.
is the lane stalling just so extreme in this new car that it's like almost like you almost have to make it that at that time that y'all made it to kind of like
Yeah,
regain
because to
momentum?
get built back up. Yeah, because if
Hmm.
you do that, like it just stalls your lane doing that. So with I think we did that coming to 2 to go, which was probably the right move. That good way we have 2 more laps to get reestablished and keep going up there because it does once guys start moving lanes. It just you lose a little momentum, and the bottom was still hooked up, pushed together,
Yeah.
and kept pushing. So yes, after all that, you kind of regroup, rebuild, and try to make a run back for it. And yeah, once we went back to the middle, Custer and Blaney and them guys, they stayed up in the third lane, and that's what drove the third lane, because
Yeah.
we're moving down, kind of disconnected from each other, and
Yeah.
they stay pushed up. Which really, the third lane really gets a big run down the back straightaway, like every time. Like you would not think that the third lane would make the run because the bottom and middle they're tight and they're pushed up, but every time off of
Oh, you get
2,
that
if
run
they
down the hill, isn't it?
they get off of 2 and they stay connected and here they come. They just like right on the outside.
Yeah.
Um, and that's exactly what put Custer and Blaney up front. And
Yeah.
uh, Blaney did a good job. He's always good at super speedways. Blaney, I
Yeah.
mean, I think Blaney was running like
He was running
13th.
13th with two to
Yeah.
Yeah.
go.
With 2 to go and ends up winning it. I mean, it's just like Byron winning the 500 earlier this year. He's sitting like 8th in line. They wrecked, sees part,
Oh yeah.
Done.
It's
and
very much the
wins the
C
race.
spot.
Yeah, so it's just man staying in it. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing. You just got to stay in it, and if you're in the top 10 on the last lap, you still have a shot to win the thing.
Well, y'all as
Yeah,
like the
for
five
sure.
team, do y'all ever talk about like in the middle of the race or just at times where you're not going for a stage win or a win? Like, obviously you'd rather probably stay in the front, but if not in the front, do y'all just want to fall to the back to try to avoid big ones or?
Not necessarily. So our whole thing is obviously not lead. We don't want to lead because it's burning too much fuel.
Okay.
You're burning way too much fuel out in lead. So really, the best spot to be is probably second or third in line. With you have guys behind you, you're pushing guys in front. Like that lets you save. The draft obviously is picking you up, and that lets you save a lot more fuel in that area.
Yeah.
And that's what it's really all about because it's turned into saving fuel, and then when the stops come. Uh, you're taking less fuel on your pit stop, so it gets you out in front of the pack, and you could cycle back. And that it was getting ready to happen in the second stage around like lap 78 or 79. Like 4 or 5 cars pitted off from the lead, and then when that's the biggest thing too. When they pit off, then you pick your pace up because you
Mhm.
don't want because that's what they're going to do. It's always better to probably be I would say the second wave of cars or the last wave of cars because as soon as you see the first wave, you pick up the speed. Like you're picking up seconds,
Yeah.
picking up the pace, going hard, not worrying about burning fuel, and then you pit 2 or 3 laps after. Well, you done made up so much time because first of all they're saving the whole time they pit off then they got to get a reestablished off the pit road together. And then, that usually don't happen until off of turn 2 down the back straightaway until they're pushed back up. So you just lose so much time
Yeah.
um, doing that, which is kind of crazy how it is. Part of me kind of likes it, but then part of me is like, man, I wish it'd be like the first stage. Like first stage, we can make it all the way on fuel. Everybody was pushing up hard. Um, and then, yeah, I really thought the first stage would be like, I thought the first stage would be super calm.
Yeah.
And then
It wasn't.
wasn't.
Not a
Yeah.
I'm
chance.
like I'm like all these new winners, they're gonna ride and they're just gonna hang out because they know they got to be there at the end. And yeah, the first stage was kind of wild.
Well, it was funny. I saw, the 45 was he like the first caution, I think? But it was like he hits the wall with his nose damage, and I was
Yes.
like, that's good for the 48. And then like
Yeah,
so many
exactly. It
laps
was the
later,
45. So then
yeah.
I was like thinking, that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, okay, the 48's in a good spot, right? He can beat the 45 on points, even if they have a new winner. And then he gets caught up in the crash in
Yeah.
the front straightaway, and I'm like,
Yeah.
well, now he's screwed. So
Well, I don't know how much
um,
you're willing or able to talk about it, but like,
yeah,
what is it going into a race like this and the scenarios of the 48 being the only one that is still trying to get into the playoffs? With the Hendrick team, there's fans that are like, I hate that side of it, and then there's fans like me that get it, and like I'm just a general Hendrick team
yeah.
fan, but yeah, if you're able to
So
talk about
going
that,
into it, your priority is try to help the 48 all you can, right? You want to
yeah,
push him, and obviously it lined up, and we went backwards right off in the beginning, so it didn't look good. But like we, that is the priority, right? Like you're okay. That main priority, we want all four Hendrick cars. Like as a company, that's great, and that's what we. If we can help the 48 any chance we can, that's what we're going to do, right? We
mm,
push him, we help him. If he needs up in line, we let him up in line. It's stuff like that. Um, and then, yeah, I mean, the second priority was our point thing. We had to worry about where we were too,
yeah,
for our points. Because we could have finished sixth in regular season points, or you can finish second. I mean, that's how close it was. So, and playoff points mean everything. 15 to the winner of the regular season first, and then it's like 10, 8, and then at like 7, 6, 5, it comes down from there. So, yeah, I mean, you take the chance of you can get 10 points, or you can get like 6 points, 5 points, playoff points. So then that turns into a priority too. But you still think about the 48 during the race.
mm,
Any help we can help him and kind of do, and that's exactly
mm,
what we intended to do until he got caught up in his wreck. And
yeah,
yeah,
I
unfortunately, but
still I still can't
still worked
believe
out.
that Blaney ended up winning and like the three cars. Like think of this. What if the 12 wins the race, fails Tech, and then who was
uh,
it that finished second?
oh,
The
I think
41 or
yeah,
the
yeah, Custer.
99?
I
The
think yeah,
99.
yeah,
One of them. So
yeah,
they're
it
automatically
was the
in.
99. I remember because it reminded me of Atlanta. It was one car
Yeah,
short of being
it
Atlanta again.
was it was the 99 would have won and been in the playoffs, and then they get called and be like, "Hey, y'all didn't make the playoffs." Like,
yeah, right, yeah,
how would that have felt?
yeah,
Like, it reminds me a little bit of Kansas when we finished second. We were joking, we're like, maybe host of our will get DQ'd and they'll award us the win and the truck race. And
yeah,
then sure enough, we failed Tech. And so then it was like, we're glad we didn't win. That would have
Yeah.
felt
yeah. That
like
would have been
we would
bad.
have thought we were locked in. We got to the plane. We were like, "Woo,
Yeah,
let's go, dude!
yeah,
Like, let's go home." And then it's like,
yeah.
"Hey,
That's
y'all
that's
failed Tech. Like, this is getting
uh,
taken away." And then it's like, "Well, we celebrated. That's the fun
yeah,
part, right?"
right.
Like, but back to
Yeah,
square one. We got to go back and win a race to be locked in
yeah.
again.
Hopefully, I'm not on that side at all or in that situation. But it is every time. Every time we win, right? You're wait there and you're like, okay, you're sitting by the tech and like, okay, clear tech, everything's good. But then like if we don't win, I go straight to the plane. And that's what I'm like on Twitter. I'm like, come on, Bob, like yeah,
Say
did he bail?
post race inspection is good.
Right?
Watching
Yeah,
the winner, yeah, something like
yeah,
that.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it sucks because that happens, a good bit of times throughout the year.
Yeah,
Guys failing tech. So,
Yeah.
which brings me to one question: why did it take NASCAR so long to implement this? Once you fail post race tech, you're DQ'd. Like it's a disqualification. You get 0 points. Like
0 points, like you're not even there.
Yeah.
that only came about like what 4 years ago, I think,
Yeah,
something like
yeah,
that.
because they used to not.
They used to be like it used to be a points penalty and a fine, and the
Right.
teams
They
were
would
just
take the
like,
win from you. They would,
we don't
yeah.
care. Like,
Yeah, right. Oh, we lost a little bit of points, but we still got the win. Yeah.
yeah,
And now they're just like DQing you. You're getting 0 points. It's not like, I mean, you didn't even show up. And that's the hard part about it because let's say you go out and have win a stage, you win the race and finish in third, you have like a 55-point day and you fail tech and you have 0 points. So
yeah.
Gosh, I didn't even
that's
think
a
about the
benefit.
actual stage points involved in that too.
Oh
Wow.
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Well,
you
that's
lose
what
everything.
that was what was crazy. We were doing a breakdown of lane for the truck series. We wrecked at Daytona. I think we ended up finishing like 26 or something like that. But we
Yeah,
were right there with Chandler the whole night running top five and probably
yeah.
arguably the best two trucks. Like Chandler probably was the better
Were
truck.
you guys could
So we
get
were
hooked up?
hauling
Yeah,
ass, right? So if we had finished that night and then we got wrecked at Atlanta the next weekend, and it wasn't even that we really wrecked out, but we got trapped 2 laps down because of a flat tire. We never were able to get back on the lead lap. And then we got DQ'd in Kansas, and I think there was one other race. There's four races in there that we were trying to look back on. And we're like, man, if we just got decent finishes out of it, like even if it was seventh, eighth place, and we had like a good points day, because the 11 looks like a freaking superhero, on paper, and it's like, holy shit, they beat everybody like 180 points, and we're in second, and it's like, man, honestly, if you just if you credit us for like
Right.
Kansas alone, that brings the gap back a decent bit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Oh,
then
yeah.
those other couple wrecks, which I think, the 11 had a couple of races where he got knocked out, but still, it's just like those races when you get DQ'd or you don't finish, on paper it shows up very fast on like, wow, you're losing ground. It's so much harder to make up that ground than it is to lose it.
Right. No, absolutely. I mean, and yeah, that's tough, man. And it's just like, well, right there through our little, era there that we leave Kansas, we're like, chasing 24 down. We take the point lead, and then we have some bad races and we lose point lead. And then you come back and you get within 10 to 12 points, and then you lose it, And then obviously William had it wrapped up before we got to Daytona last week. But, yeah, I say this a lot, and I've always said this. I tell my drivers this at spot in lower series, like running for points. If you average finish of like 12th, seriously, 12, which is
Not
it's
that
not
hard
that
to do.
hard. It's not like you
I
go
mean,
look at champions that have won champions, and like you look at their average finish, and it's like anywhere between 10 to 12. And you average it, like, yeah, you just gotta,
Chase Elliott
if
has
it's
that down.
he does, yeah,
For
absolutely, he does.
sure.
He does.
It's
And
crazy
that's why he
stats.
was. That's why he was so up there in points. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? With only one win, but
It is
man,
a
you stood
slow
in it.
creep if you look at his like he wasn't
Yeah,
knocking anything out of the park, but yeah, like by the last like what 4 or 5 races he was right there. And
exactly.
yeah.
And that's what it takes. You gotta just put races together and keep up there in points, um, and that's what it's going to take to get through some playoff stuff. If you're not winning these playoff races, you just got to point shit out of them and
Yeah.
be able to move to the next round.
Yeah. Yeah, looking at Darlington coming up though, what do y'all do? I mean, it's obviously arguably one of y'all's best tracks. How do y'all approach Darlington or a track that's great for y'all?
Probably the same thing as we do. Every time we kind of get there. Obviously, we have really good speed when we go there, and that's what it's going to take. Darlington's, I mean, it's long race, and I mean, it's one of our longest races other than 600, but it's
It's a
just being able
nerve-wracking
to.
race.
Yes, it is. I mean, you got to run the fence. You got to run the wall. So many laps, and that's the biggest thing. So I guess what answer your question, like we just got to be consistent. That's what we're looking
Hmm.
for. Like, go get stage points. Yeah, you want to dominate, right? You want to go win stage one, stage two, and win the race, and have a 60-point day.
Yeah.
But and obviously, if you win, you're moved in the next round. But and that's why you go. But the biggest thing is if you can run top five in all stages and top five in the race, you just helped yourself for gateway and so on and so forth. So I think that's the biggest thing we're going to look into is just we don't have a shot to win. We just got to run top five and keep. We're starting I think plus 26 above cut line, so you just keep opening that right. You keep
Yeah.
opening that gap, and that's what it's going to take. Obviously, yeah, you want to go win. That's what we're here to do, but it'll take if you can't win and be consistent through the playoffs, and it's what's going to get you the next round. Really every
100%.
time.
Now,
Yeah.
Tyler, I got to ask you this, being that you work in the sport with me, do you ever feel yourself get nervous?
Usually, I
Your
always get
knees start to
nervous
shake.
at. No, I usually get nervous. Man, the Roval has always been, it's the cutoff race for the round of
Mhm.
eight, or getting ready to go into the round of eight, and you're just like,
Nope.
we
Nope.
got knocked out there before, right? We've won
Yeah,
there
that's
a couple
true.
times, but we've in 2020 to 2021, obviously we had a stellar year. We won 5 out of 10, won the championship. But 2022, year later, we go to
That's true. I forget about
we
that
go
one.
to the Roval and we get knocked out. We didn't make it to the round of eight. So now, and then I think we went on to win a race. Yeah, that's what you go do. Like you get
Yeah.
knocked out, you're pissed off. You're like, all right, we're gonna go win the next whatever. So that's probably the most. I've been nervous there the last because the field's tight, right? You go
Yeah.
from 16 to 12. Now you're getting ready to go to eight. You got to be inside top eight. You have a couple bad races
A
like
lot's on the
Talladega's in
line. Yeah.
right. There's a
We actually talked a little bit about that with Lane and Dylan, and we were talking
yeah,
about the first four or first playoff first three were like, okay, that's really not that bad. But then you look at the second stint in the playoffs of the round of for trucks, I guess it's technically the round of six, seven, eight. I guess it's the round of eight because
It's
they only do 10. I'm trying to remember how they do it, but
yeah,
we were basically looking at the second round, and it's like it's tumultuous, man. You got
y'all got
Dega and
the
Roval,
yeah
and then you
in
got
Martinsville.
Martinsville.
Yeah,
And the Martinsville was the one track we all kind of circled last year when we got into the season. We were thinking that Martinsville was going to be one of our better tracks because Lane likes short tracks. He's raced at Martinsville a lot, and honestly, it's been one of our worst tracks. Like Martinsville, Texas, and Atlanta. Off the top of my head, I immediately can remember. I'm like, those are days that we just for some reason haven't had good luck around there.
yeah.
So we think about Dega, Roval, and then Martinsville as that second round for trucks, and we're like, we got to figure out how to get through Dega, and that's really the key. Like if you get wrecked at Dega, you're in bad shape. You
yeah.
got to go
Yeah.
to the Roval and basically finish like top two or three, and basically win both stages and collect as many points as you can. Even if you don't win, you got to really go out and have a great day. And then the Roval is kind of this weird track to begin with. Everybody's kind of over
I'm
the
just yeah,
Roval
I'm just
now.
looking at that. I'm looking
Yeah,
just
I'm
at
looking at
your
the schedule
last
too.
Charlotte Revel. You go Darlington Trucks, Bristol, New Hampshire. That's your first round, which
Like
I think you guys will be
that's yeah.
pretty good
We
there,
might
right? You'll
win
be good
two
at
of those three. We
right.
just
You'll be
never
good,
know.
right?
It's
Well,
that second round that's like, oh shit.
Roval,
Like
Talladega, and Martinsville to get to Phoenix. That is kind of tough. I mean,
Talladega is the one like, do we ride in the back? Dylan literally said he's like, do we ride around the back and make sure we don't get wrecked? And if we finish 20th, we finish 20th, or do we go be aggressive, try to finish in the top five and then get wrecked? Because last year at Talladega, we were running fourth and the 13 got hooked and then he hit us and we
hooked.
got yeah, we got wrecked right into the fence. So
Yeah.
man,
it's
that's
one of those
that's
things like
tough.
it's super speedway racing,
Almost
Like
it almost
you
seems in
could be
that
in the
round that the
lead in like the
Roval is the same
22.
thing.
The
Yeah,
22 got wrecked this past weekend, which I think it's the 22's fault. He for some reason
yeah.
drove from the very top of turn four down in front of whoever, and the air on his spoiler, he got
It
loose
came
and just
across. Yeah.
Are they still
he
doing that
darted.
new turn at the Roval this year? Whatever that new one was?
Is there no
Oh,
chicane? Is that what it is?
No, they really put that narrow corner in that really
it went it. So instead of like cutting back, yes,
kind
and
of
then
going through
like
the
they
infield
had that
more.
like wide and before you get to turn one of the oval.
Yeah, I remember just like
Yeah,
what was it?
being super tight.
Tyler
I'm gonna
Reddick that
say it's
just
the
went
same.
monster truck on it.
Yeah, I think pretty
I
sure it's
think
probably
they
the
got rid of it.
same.
It's kind of like Daytona, the Daytona road course now. It's you just off the backstretch, you go all the way to the finish line, and then you're on the brakes.
Mm. I mean,
Oh,
that
I
would be
okay.
think.
interesting.
I could be
Yeah,
totally
no, that
mistaken.
would be. Yeah.
But I feel like someone was saying like, "Hey, do y'all notice anything about it?" And we're like, "There's no whatever turns those are like
No
11 and
chicane.
12 or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
That last chicane before the finish line is not there anymore."
Oh, that would be really interesting actually.
But see,
That's a
my thing is they like the Daytona road course. You have such a longer amount of time to brake into turn one. The Charlotte road course, you don't. So are you going to be hitting the brakes coming across the finish line?
yeah,
Like
maybe.
True, man. That would be kind of crazy if they're taking that out. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
that
like I said, I could be totally wrong.
yeah
I feel like I was reading something about that, but nobody's given
could
like a
be.
firm answer on it.
Well,
Yeah,
looking at the cup schedule for the playoffs, I mean, obviously the round of 16, it has two of y'all's like maybe top three best tracks. At least, you dominated Bristol this past year and y'all do really good, as you said, in the Darlington fall race. But then looking at like round of 12, Kansas is obviously a track I'm sure y'all. But like looking at these, every round you seemingly have it all the way up to the end. You seemingly have a track that y'all are just naturally
we have a track. Yeah, we have a
fast at.
track in each round, which is obviously great for us. But yeah, just looking at like Darlington and Gateway and Bristol. Darlington obviously run good. It would be great to go there. But you have Bristol. If you can
Yeah.
run good at Gateway, or sorry, at Darlington, and then just have a decent day at Gateway, and Bristol feel confident winning. But you just got to have great days. But yeah, it would be great to go ahead and knock it out.
But the ones that y'all have
Gateway,
had the most success at, do y'all look at
yeah, they're
those
always
pretty hard?
we nah. I would say yeah, like that. That's what we want to look at, right? Like
Yeah.
Darlington were really good, and Bristol, so we're gonna look into that and make sure okay we run really well there. And Gateway tested. We were one of the cars that got to test there in the summer. So, Gateway is not one of our best tracks that we've been to the last couple of years, but after leaving the test, I feel pretty confident in being good at Gateway.
Mhm.
It'll be hard to probably to beat the Penske cars, but hopefully we're
Well, even when
good
one
there.
one runs out of gas, the other one just
I
kicks
Isn't
right
know,
in.
that
yeah, I don't know.
isn't that crazy how like one team typically like Hendrick's got its tracks they're good at.
Yep,
Yeah.
Penske has the tracks they're good at. And it's like
yeah.
wh-
What
how
is it?
like how does that happen?
I
You
know,
know?
I know.
That's the
Yeah,
one
because
thing
there's
that
some
always
tracks
like
we go to, we're like, man, we're knowing good. So when we got to test there in the summer, or a couple months ago, I'm like, man, okay, this is good for us. We felt confident, so we'll probably, we could go there and run like shit. Who knows?
Y'all felt good out of the four cars over there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's only three cars. We felt good. But yeah, and moving forward, then um, Kansas, right?
Yeah.
Kansas is obviously good for us. We won there in the spring, and we have had a lot of success there. And then Charlotte Roval, that would be the ultimate. Win Kansas, and you just go to Roval and don't worry about it, right? You can
Yeah.
just go there and
You
have
just
a
blow
good
the
thing, and then
chicane. You don't even care.
I don't care anymore. Yeah, we ain't even gonna run that. So,
Yeah.
and then yeah, the final round to get to Phoenix, obviously Las Vegas, we've had success there. So
Yeah.
hopefully we can win there and just punch our ticket. Then Talladega, Martinsville, we're not even worried about it.
That would be
But
nice.
anything can obviously happen. Like I said earlier, I think just putting some stuff together, putting track or races together, stages and points, and it'll take care of itself.
Yeah.
You just can't have any bad days. Is the biggest thing for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. That's what is the hardest track for you to spot at in the coming races? I'm wondering. Is the
The
Roval?
hardest Roval's not hard. We have ran two spotters in the past. I'm going to run a second one this year, but
Is
they
that your
moved our
job to go
spotter
find
stand.
them?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I this for the Roval I have Colby Copeland, which is Kyle's best friend, so it's cool that
Okay.
he gets to do it.
Your
And he
brother
helps.
spots, right?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
he spots. He's doing
nice
second
spot.
spot and stuff for. Yeah, come on up there. Ross
Gives
just
me
hit
a
me.
gives me a radio that doesn't work and a headset's like turned off.
Yeah, it's just a plastic
All
radio.
right, yeah,
Hey,
here,
inside,
boy.
inside.
Yeah.
He's right. It's like, thanks a lot, guys.
But they moved our spotter stand to the turn one grandstand,
Okay.
oval grandstand, that big tall one, so we can actually see the whole racetrack.
Yeah.
Now, I would say probably another one that's going to be probably tough to spot and very high amp is going to be Talladega, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Hopefully, um, hopefully we're in just a spot to let's just go out there and try to win, and hopefully we've done one Vegas and knocked in or get locked into Phoenix. But yeah, I would say looking at it, probably Talladega. Bristol's kind of tough too. I mean, you think about it's just, things are happening like so
Just
fast,
a
right?
literal
It's
Oh,
circle.
they tick away. So it's
nonstop.
like,
Yeah, man. Like you think like, oh man, 500 laps, dude. Them 500 laps go fast, man.
But
It's
y'all have
crazy
dominated the
how
past two. So does that make your
we
job
have.
easy
do you
whenever
ever say like, "Hey, man, I'm gonna go get a chicken sandwich. I'll be back in a second." Like,
just
you
keep
No,
got
doing the
this.
circle?
no. There's so much going on in Bristol. How fast it is and how
Yeah.
small it is. Even when you're leading, you have a big lead. You worry about lap cars, and now you're in
Yeah.
traffic. And
Right.
yeah, Bristol, you stay busy for sure.
I remember the one
Um,
race we went to was like at the time it was a nationwide race, but I just remember being like, this is so loud because it's
oh
It
just
is
yeah,
a
loud.
bowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. It's
It
super loud.
echoes. Everything echoes.
Because we had
It
only
It
gone
does.
to
really
like
doesn't
Charlotte or
matter where you're at.
Daytona, and you have either with Daytona a 45-second break or
Right. Yeah.
Charlotte
Yeah.
a maybe 10-second break, depending how
Yeah.
long the run is. And so the Bristol, you're like, I can't even think anymore.
All right,
Right.
so I will
Yeah.
be honest. Owen's talking about having like a 45-second break. Daytona and Talladega, and I guess Atlanta now being it's like a super speedway track, right? From a pit crew's perspective, it's nice when we get that like we don't have any cars in front of us. It's not loud, but the whole time you're sitting there inside, inside, outside, three wide
Yeah.
middle. It's like
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
is constant chatter. There's sometimes
Constant talk.
I have to take my earbuds off just to like clear my head
Yeah.
because you're constant. It's not even like
Yeah.
to our
There's.
spotter Josh, or if it was you, like it's got nothing to do with him. It's just your, it's this overstimulating feeling
Hmm.
that
Right.
some people don't know that you're like. If you're sitting in the stands and you have the scanner on, you kind of would understand. But if you're just sitting in the
Yeah.
stands, you're just watching the race and you're enjoying seeing your driver wherever they're at. But I
Yeah.
mean, when you're like on pit road, you're trying to think about what's going on, and then you're hearing like throughout middle, like all right, inside, outside, like oh hey, they're coming with a run, it is overstimulating as can be, and it's just a lot because often the other thing is we can't see it sometimes. Like we just hear it.
You're like, man, what's going
We're
on?
we're
Yeah,
sitting in the dark.
exactly. Yeah,
Sometimes it works out, and Daytona's really great about having massive
Rivet
monitors on the
TV. Yep.
inside. So if you're within like say 10 pit stalls of each one, you can kind of get an idea of what's going on.
It
But I
is
mean,
funny to
man,
watch
it's
the people in the pits, just watch them go by in the front straightaway,
everybody
and
turns
then everybody
around,
turns, just
and then you
looks
go
at the
back to the
Turns.
TV,
screen,
and then
and then
goes
here
right
comes the
back.
cars. Yeah, it's so funny.
That was
It's
me. I
so
was like, my
funny,
neck
man.
hurts now, actually.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know if what y'all would call it, but I mean, I've, having worked on sets, I have a radio in my ear at all times, and I'll go 14-hour day nonstop radio in my ear, and there have been times where I'll be driving home and I have phantom ears, what they call it. Like I'll be thought somebody just
Hearing
called me
things.
I
on the
have that.
radio. Yeah.
I'll
I
have that
responded to
happen.
someone
Yeah.
like I was sleep talking one time. Like I was on the interstate and it was like, "Oh, and where you at?" And I was like, I'm in the car." What? It
Dude,
was
That's
it was
great
I'm
intense.
stuff.
sure it like me. Yeah, I can only imagine.
You just live in Kyle's head.
Right. That's what I've always said. Like anybody asks me about Super Speedway, I'm like, yeah. By the end of it, they're tired of hearing me talk. Like they're like,
I wonder if
if
Kyle hears you in his sleep.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you
that's
and
gonna
Cliff are the devil on his shoulders.
right. Yeah,
someone's
yeah. Do
Jesus
it.
and someone's the
Yeah,
devil.
yeah.
Tyler's 100% the devil.
Well, yeah. I'm the bad. Yeah, I'm the bad one. Bad
Yeah.
influencer. I'm like, yeah, do it. You won't.
You know why he runs you like that every week? Because you
Yeah,
let
right.
him.
Yeah, because you let him. Yeah, that's probably what he hears in his
Yeah.
sleep. But
Kyle's
yeah,
just driving.
there's a ton of talking at tracks like that.
Yeah.
And Bristol, really, you're talking a lot too, man. You're a lot going on there. Like I said earlier, so I'd say Bristol and Talladega through the playoffs will be the
You ever
toughest
tried
ones to spot.
changing up your deliveries? Like maybe start singing to them like someone's to your inside.
No, I never did. There actually is a story about me singing on the radio though. Real quick, this is like I was spot for Timmy Hill probably 2018, I think,
Hmm.
2019, somewhere in there
Hey,
in a cup
that was
race.
probably with me.
Yeah, and we're at Homestead. That's when Homestead was the final race, and Timmy knew like I like to go sing, and I'm all about it. Right, I sing all the time.
Oh, this is starting to sound familiar.
And then he said, he's like, you gotta sing me a song on the radio before the race, pre-race. All right, I'm like thinking. I'm
Hold me
like, oh,
down.
and I'm like, no, I'm like, all right, Garth Brooks, Friends in Low Places, you got it, right?
Yeah.
So I like start singing, and I do like the first little part of it, and he's like, that was awesome, that was the coolest thing I've ever
I
heard.
think that I think you were on our radio that day, dude.
I
I
probably
feel
was,
like
yeah.
this is a story I kind of remember.
There's if you could pull up some of my audio from back when I was spotting for Timmy Hill, you want to talk about like Hendrick
Just
would
being a
not hire
goof.
me. Well,
Yeah.
just being a goof, they'd be like, this guy's not serious at all. You know what I mean? Like
This guy's never
this
gonna
guy.
get on a
That's the
good
moment when
team.
you realize
Right.
you're glad that they really can't pull up your recordings all that
Oh,
well. It's
exactly.
just
Yeah. So back like and when I think it was the Xfinity race or something like that at Charlotte, we're like laps down and it's like they're getting ready to do a green white checker, like a restart. Timmy's like, hey, I'm gonna lay back. You call the race like your MRN. And dude, so he lays back and I like rip through this whole thing. And in the middle of it, he was passing a car. And I'm like, going through this whole spill, this MRN thing, and then I'm like, oh, inside, oh, you're all cleared, all good. And then I get back to like spot. I'm telling you, man.
I'm
If
pretty
anybody
sure
listened to my audio from back then, they would be
I'm
like,
pretty sure that
no
was on
way.
my car because I remember
Yeah.
some of this stuff and
Oh yeah.
it somehow it rings a bell.
Yes.
But
So I had some good times back spot for Timmy back then.
Awesome.
now it's
not
no
taking my
fun
job
zone.
serious.
It's
Yeah.
too
Oh, I
serious.
still have a ton of fun. I really do. There's I mean, you guys, I said last week, me and Kyle have our banter sometimes and kind of laugh it off. We had one this past weekend that I kind of laughed about in the draft. We were them cars talking early. The cars pitted off, and I'm like, all right, we got to pick up pace. I'm like, we got to burn fuel. I'm like, keep pushing the 9, and I'm trying to get like the 9, spotters up there. You're trying to work with each other. Okay, hey, we got to get on the same page. We're going to pick up the pace. Well, you always tell Kyle or anybody spotting, but you always I always say the car he's pushing to the guy in front of him, like, hey, one in front, half in front. Okay, he's tight. That way he knows to get off of him and he don't shove through and cause a wreck. So I'm like trying. I'm over here talking to Trey Poole, spots for the nine. I'm like, hey, we got to pick up the pace, and I'm like I'm like, you got to stay pushed up. And Kyle's like, is there anybody in front of him? And I'm like, no, just you two. He's like, well, tell me that, you know. And I'm like, afterward, I like listened back to it. I'm like, yes. I'm like, I should have, but I was trying to like get everybody on the same page because you do work a lot up there with the other spotters.
Right.
Okay, we're
Yeah.
gonna go right. So, but it's
That's
stuff
good
like that
stuff.
I laugh at. Yeah, I laugh at every time.
Yeah. The other
So,
thing I want to give you guys a shout out for is most of the time y'all's demeanor is so cool, calm, and collected. Like, I mean, it could be the last lap Daytona 500 turn four, and it's like y'all are clearly gonna win, and y'all just like one back, one back, and then the second you win, it's
yeah,
like the floodgates hit, and you guys are
Yeah.
like, we fucking did it! Like
yeah,
just going
right,
crazy. Like
exactly. Yeah,
Josh
and
Williams
that's
last year when we won Bristol, I remember he's like, all right, one to go, and it's like we win Bristol, and it's just like we won Bristol, like let's like the night's
yes,
made,
yeah,
and he's just like
yeah,
chills the cucumber, just shows up in
yeah, and
victory. And
that's
he's
the
like,
biggest thing as
"What's
a
up,
spotter,
guys?
right?
Great job." It's just
Right. That's the
being
biggest thing
so
as a spotter,
level-headed, man.
trying to, yeah, keep the driver obviously under control the whole time. And because, well, yeah, when you get worked up, the driver's going to get worked up. Um, so I mean, and that's the biggest thing about the whole spotting. I think that's what separates really good spotters from other spotters is just trying to be calm the whole time, don't matter what situation you're in. And, I think Cliff has told me multiple times how, like, man, this guy acts like you don't even care, right? Because you try to
Right.
be that way, you try not to um
You
just be
won. Good
cool and
job.
calm. Yeah, right. Yeah, you just try to be calm in moments, and even if you feel like you're getting run down from someone from behind faster than you in the late closing laps, you don't
Just
want to
gotta
panic mode
be
because if you
professional
panic mode, then
gaslighter.
they're going to panic. You're right. Yeah, exactly, for sure.
Well, you don't want to take up too much more of your time because I know you got somewhere to be.
Yeah,
But
that's great.
yeah,
I'm
man.
excited for playoffs.
Absolutely.
Hopefully we make it all the way. Hopefully
That'd
Blake
be
and the
awesome.
34 guys make it all the way. And
Yeah, that would be a great
I'm
podcast to have in
that'd be
November.
great,
Bro,
right?
if we had a podcast like the week after Halloween, basically,
It
and
would
it's
be
like,
Yeah,
two
dude, we'd be
champions, and a redhead.
hammered on this podcast. Like the second we start the show, it's like,
Like be swinging the
uh,
sword everywhere.
but yeah,
Let's
oh,
go.
yeah. No,
Yeah.
I'm. I feel like truly, I feel like you guys are gonna have a great shot at it. I feel like you guys have been lights out. Obviously, the 11 is going to be tough to beat, right?
right.
It's just what it is. But um,
It's not going to be tough to
I,
beat when I have a handful of nails in pit road.
I truly think if you guys get to Phoenix, like, I think you guys will run really good at Phoenix.
So
It's all about getting there.
it's about getting there. 100% it's about getting there. Just being cool, calm, collected. Do your job. These next however many races we have until we get to Phoenix. But the one thing we were talking about today is just doing our thing, acting like it's another day. Don't put any pressure on us to make mistakes. But the one silver lining to this whole thing is last year when we were in Phoenix, we got out front and we ran away from the field. The only reason it got restacked up was because there was an accident on a restart. I think the 98 was on our outside and we got hooked a little bit from being loose. And it was Lane's first time at that track. So, I mean, we feel like we get there. We've got a really
Got
good
a good
shot. And
shot.
ultimately, I'm going to be stressed as hell, man. I'm not even going to lie. It's going to be stressful that night for us because if Lane's going to be as fast as it was last year, I know that it just comes down to us performing and putting down good, solid pit stops for him and giving him that opportunity to even and make it work. So,
Yeah, absolutely. No, I think as good as your guys' short track stuff is, yeah, you get to Phoenix, you'll be very. That's what it takes.
Mhm.
You just got to
yeah.
get there. Once you're there,
I
it's.
honestly,
I feel positive about it.
when it comes to the trucks, I think it's the 11, us, and the 38, and it's really like not close after that. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't think of another truck that's like super consistent like those three trucks are.
Every
Yeah,
time
I
we have
mean,
to make predictions, I'm always like, it's the 34, the 11. I don't know what else to pick.
Basically.
right. Yeah, I mean, it really is. I
Yeah.
mean, just looking at it, you could. Um,
Yeah.
I don't even know. It's tough, right? I mean, it's.
He's over there looking at his notes like
I'm
You know,
like looking at my phone at the
the
thing. I'm
11,
looking at
the
these
11,
drivers.
maybe when like
34.
34.
Larson or LaJoy comes around, maybe we
I would
can.
say, the one that I think that you probably would, that I think really does have a shot to go to the Final Four would be Grinding Finger in the nine.
I've said that a few times. I feel like if he can
Yeah,
get a
he
win, get a little
does.
bit of speed,
Yeah,
he's the one
he
he's
made
the
it there
one
last year,
like
right?
the
Yeah,
dark horse and He made it there a year. I think he made it last 2 years, to be honest. And 2 years ago, he was leading with a few to go, right? Weren't
Yeah.
you spotting him? Or was
Yeah,
that somebody else?
2 years ago when we were GMS. Yeah, yeah, we
Yep,
were. We
run
had
away
the
from the
champ.
field, and
Yeah, we
then
were had it right up. We were gonna win the championship, and then Corey wrecked Carson. So then that refragged, and we would no longer.
rack him back up, guys.
Well, real quick,
No
are you
longer won.
spotting for Corey Day at Darlington, right? I think that was an entry. 'Cause I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure.
he might be. I am not with him when he
Okay.
is in the 7. I'm gonna. I think Jack Wood is back. Hopefully in the
Oh, okay.
91. I think he is.
No,
I think
y'all are
he's
because y'all have a cool
cleared to
truck.
race.
So
But yeah, cleared to race, and so I'll be with Jack. So I'm gonna say the 11, 34, 38, and the 9 in Phoenix. And
we're
just for
getting
you, Blake, I'm gonna say the 34 truck wins
Let's
championship.
go.
wow, I wasn't expecting a
Hey, I'll
prediction here.
return the favor. I want to see the 5 win. If I had to pick a final four for this year, I'm going the 5, the 11, the 24,
You have to throw
and
Penske in there.
yeah, I was
No,
gonna say
we do not need a
probably.
Penske car at
I
Phoenix.
feel like you just
No.
not being realistic here.
I'm gonna
I
probably say
know.
the 12 because
The
they're
12's
just
been the
Yeah.
12's been
he's been
striking here.
consistent.
No pun
They've been
intended. They're
consistent.
dark horses in these playoffs.
Yeah,
So
yeah, right. They
They're
Yeah.
as
really
fast
are.
as
Yeah.
Xfinity Mobile.
they're going to be as fast as O'Reilly Auto Parts customer service.
Yeah. Well, Tyler, thanks for
Yeah.
coming on, man. We'll let you go do your
Absolutely.
fantasy draft.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
We'll
Hopefully I do
obviously
good.
have to hop on here sometime soon. We did get one comment from Natalie. She says, "This is so interesting, guys. Such a cool insider take." So we're making an
Yeah.
impact. We're getting to spread some cool
I'm
insider
assuming she's
news.
talking about my insider knowledge of NASCAR.
Yes, yes. Oh, and it's you from California and
Yeah,
your insider
getting that all in
knowledge.
there.
Yep. I
No,
have
I
all
appreciate
the
you
leaks.
guys having me on. It's obviously been fun the last 2 weeks, and talking to you guys. Obviously, I've known you guys for a long time now, so but it's great. Yeah, I like talking about NASCAR, even when I'm not there. So
That's literally your job at the track.
Yeah.
is to
I know,
talk,
right?
so-
Just talk. Yeah, I love talking. Yeah. So any other time you want me on the
Yeah.
Yeah.
podcast, I am down.
I know we'll
It's
definitely have an
fun.
episode 3 with you, man. That's for
Well,
sure.
episode 3 is going to be diecast talk, so we'll see that.
Diecast. I
Yes,
forgot.
Oh,
We
God.
got the diecast.
I don't
Yeah.
really have that many
That
anymore,
might
so
be
I'm gonna
for
have Blake
me. That
go dig up our big box of old diecast
Yeah.
cars,
Yeah, I
and
mean,
one by one.
obviously, you guys seen some of my diecast last week.
Yeah,
That might be a
heck yeah.
3-hour show.
that
People-
is. That's without a time constraint. That's an off-season special.
yeah, that's not, yeah, there you go.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. No, I appreciate it, guys.
Yeah, thank you for being here, man.
As always, yeah.
Awesome.
Good luck
All right,
to
man.
you guys
Well,
in
I'll
the
see you in
playoffs and
Darlington,
Owen.
dude.
Yes, I'll see you and Owen. Hopefully, I see you soon.
Yeah, there's a chance I'm going to try to come to Phoenix if I can figure it out. But I said that about Darlington, and I'm not going to Darlington, so don't get your hopes too high.
Okay.
You
All
had
right.
one
Well, I'll
job,
try
Owen.
not
You
to.
had one
I know.
job.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
catch
one
you later,
job but no
Tyler.
money.
Thanks, man.
So see you,
All
man.
right. See you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I get another?